Welcome back. So in our last episode, we caught up with all of our companions and got to know them a little more and raised their approval. So we can always go look at that. When we click on the character sheet, we can see where their approval rating is. We can see that Shadowheart, good, Will, fair, Lizelle, fair, and that'll improve over time. So don't sweat that too much. There are specific interactions that will increase things more than others, but we don't need super high approval, just good approval from most. So before we rest, let's head to the overgrown ruins and let's talk about what we haven't done. So we haven't completed the ancient ruins. There are 6 or so skeletons in there. We could do that if we wanted to get the quest out of our quest log. We haven't finished the Emerald Grove because we haven't rescued Halsin yet. We'll do that tomorrow. We have left the gnolls in the cave near the Risen Road, so they're back in here right now. They're not worth the amount of experience it would take to kill them, or the amount of time it would take to kill them. There's also some hyenas over here. Joaquin's Rest is already finished. The Zentarium compound is finished. We've cleared out the mountain pass from Gith. So what we've got is a goblin camp to take care of, and that's about it. So we got experience for this pack. There's a couple more packs of goblins again. They're low XP, so we're not leaving a lot of experience on the table. In the Underdark, we haven't taken care of Filro the Forgotten or the Hook Horrors over in the corner, and a couple of Minotaurs. So altogether, there's maybe 1,500 to 2,000 experience left, and that's not enough for us to level. So we could go get it, but it's not super critical. So we're going to take our first long rest, and before we do that, we're going to we'll swap back to Lizelle's original armor because this adamantine armor will cause her to take less damage over time.
Proceeding.
And we're just going to have her and Will stand in this fire until they perish.
Side of the gate. Checking things out.
And the reason is that the first evening of the game, so this is our first long rest, Lizelle will attempt to kill us, and there's a check to convince her not to, but if she is not alive, then there's no check rolled. So there's no reason to risk that check if we don't need to. And the reason that we're going to let Will die is that during the first long rest after sparing Karlach, his patron will show up and try to punish him, but she won't show up if he's dead. So we're actually going to never have Will be punished for that, and he will never transform, he'll never get horns, he'll always look like you originally meet him for the rest of the story. So the punishing event for Mizora only happens in Act 1. And so once we're in Act 2, then we can rest and never worry about it again. So Will's going to stay out of commission from here until the first part of Act 2. Now, we could bring him back and just, let him die at the end of each day, and that would work fine. And Lizelle, since she's leveled up, is going to take a little bit longer to be done. And while we're waiting, we can check and see if Will's got anything in his bag, and he does not, just some camp supplies. So we can send those to camp. And we're almost done. And the reason we're standing in fire as opposed to having the other characters beat them up is just so that we can feel like we didn't turn on our own party. Any death method would work. You could have them jump to their death. Whatever works for you. All right, and that's it. So we're gonna that's a bit grisly for sure. So we're gonna head back to camp, and we'll talk to Withers. And Withers has a function outside of bringing people back from the dead.
Ah, another.
Thy name has been recorded. I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services.
And we'll just say
Be assured, it is not by choice.
option 2. And we'll leave to reset the dialogue so that we can get all of the options.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
We'll go for neither of those. We want to entrust a fallen companion to Withers.
Thou mayest.
And we will entrust Will. So that will remove Will from the active party. So whoosh, he's gone. And we can pick up anybody else that we would like. So we'll go grab Shadowheart.
May the darkness protect you.
Thanks. And oh my gosh, is she already in the party? She is already in the party. Well, not paying attention. All right, we'll pick up Gale.
Go ahead. I'm listening. With pleasure. Lead on.
And with that, we're set to take our first rest. So we'll hit the sleeping bag here to start end of the day. And we won't even get the chance to use camp supplies. So we're going to get this. Everyone's sick and falling down. And we meet our Dream Guardian for the first time.
I came just in time. You are transforming.
And we'll say that we've heard the voice before.
Yes, you have. I saved you before. And I'm here to save you again. Don't worry. You will not become a Mind Flayer. Not while I'm around. I'll protect you.
So we'll take the hand that's offered. She seems nice.
We haven't much time, so listen closely. There is great potential within you. It comes from that parasite. Your instinct is to resist the power it gives, but you must accept it, nurture it. I will keep it from consuming you, but for the sake of both of us, you must learn to wield it. A fight for the fate of Faerun. A fight we are losing. For now. You can change that, but only if you embrace your potential. I have to go. The enemy is closing in. I will be back. Wake now. You'll feel better. I promise.
And here in the morning, we've got our new friend Scratch here in the camp. We'll need an animal speaking potion to talk to Scratch, and also the owlbear. We've got plenty. So let's talk to Scratch.
Hope you're keeping well, friend. I didn't introduce myself before. You can call me Scratch.
We'll apologize for something we didn't do.
Master. Friend. I stayed with him until I knew he was gone. I'll never forget him. But I'm glad to have met you.
And we'll pet him. Everybody likes that. And then we'll head off. Scratch will eventually give us a token that we can use to summon him. He's a really valuable companion. We are at a new day, so we can do some purchasing if we would like. The first thing we'll do is we'll bring Lizelle back.
Fate spins along as it should. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection instead?
And we'll say that we want to resurrect someone.
Then thou must return with the proper payment.
And we'll bring back
This is the
Lizelle.
price of balance. Well counted. I recommend keeping my distance for a moment. By doom and dusk I strike thy name from the archives. Rise.
All right, so that's a fully healed Lizelle. And our goal for today is going to be to clear out the goblin camp. There's not really anything else to do. That's going to be in two phases. We're going to clean out the inside of the goblin leaders, and then we'll take care of the outside to free the owlbear. Now, for this, we could take probably physical characters, but we can take Gale and do some magic if we would like. So the inside quest is pretty much solo. If we want to do some stealing, that's something that we can think about. Perhaps do that when we're about to end the day. That said, as I'm thinking about it, there will be the tiefling party when we come to the camp, so if we want to rob Volo and Barkus, now is probably the time. It's not a lot of money either way. All right, so we're going to take our main character, break them off from the group, and we're going to head straight to the goblin camp. Now, we want to talk to the owlbear cub, and then we can check in with these traders and see if there's anything else that we'd like to buy or sell, because they're not going to be around for very much longer. So we'll try to chat with the owlbear cub.
No more chicken chasing. Seems like it's all about the money for some, and I ain't got any to bet.
We're interrupted by Krolla, and then we'll have to go into turn-based mode to catch the owlbear cub.
Mother gone. Hungry.
And we'll tell him that we've got a camp.
New home. Maybe. Got to get away from here first.
The cub seems anxious to leave.
but afraid to defy the goblins. They have to be dealt with one way or the other.
And then we can exit turn-based mode. Once all the goblins are dead, the owlbear cub will just take off. And we'll head in. Now, remember, we're here by ourselves, so if we make a mistake and die or something, that's fine. It's not going to be a huge problem. Before we get too much further, we're going to cast Longstrider on ourselves to get a little more movement. And we'll see if there's anything this vendor has that's worthwhile.
Need something?
We'll buy the Arrow of Many Targets and a Potion of Invisibility because we're going to use that right away. She's also got this Bow of Awareness. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you get a bonus to your initiative. So if you needed that, you'll have already picked it up. None of the other equipment is vital for our run.
Pleasure.
We're going to take the back way towards Mintara. Again, if we wanted to save the dude that's being threatened with being pushed in the spider pit, this is the time where we could do that. These goblins are relatively easy to trick, so we could use Minor Illusion to bring them all into this room and shoot them.
Do you want to become spider food?
But we're not going to do that.
Scrying eye. Let's not do anything suspicious while it's watching.
There is a Scroll of Scorching Ray here, by the way, which is a good spell, so worth picking that up. When we come around here, we'll see the goblins kick this guy into the pit. For whatever reason, the lockpick is not red, so no one minds that we're going to lockpick this door. We succeed. We have a lot of lockpicks, so easy enough to do. When we come into here, we're going to tell Dror Ragzlin that we're going to cast the spell, and then we'll ask a bunch of questions, and the order we ask them is very important. We're going to run out of useful questions.
I command you, corpse. Speak. Reveal truth to the absolute.
Yeah, that's not working.
Nothing. Must be reading it wrong. Suga no Sukuk.
The hobgoblin turns to you, and the parasite squirms in your skull. You taste the ale on his tongue, and the bile in his soul. The visions cloud your inner eye for a brief moment once again. You see the hobgoblin bowing before the armored elf you'd glimpsed before. The elf speaks of the hunt for a great weapon, and the rewards that will go to whoever finds it. The hobgoblin's eyes gleam hungrily.
If it isn't a true soul devil.
He doesn't speak his next words, yet they still rattle your skull from within.
You ever talk to a dead squid? Now's your chance.
So we'll take the Bard option.
Damn right. I'm gonna make this carcass talk. Absolute says the dead squiddy had a weapon. I reckon the killer nabbed it and scooted off to that looter camp. We find who killed it, and we find who took that weapon. So settle in.
You suddenly feel a strange anxiety take hold. Not your own, but that of the artifact you carry. Somehow, it's afraid. The artifact does not want to part from you. It does not want to fall into the Absolute's clutches.
So we will take the Bard option again.
Then take it. Absolute knows I am not getting anywhere.
You read aloud the words on the scroll. The hideous corpse rises, tentacles writhing.
So the question that we do not want to ask is who killed you. So we're going to run out of useful questions before we get to that. So we'll start with who is the Absolute?
Ragzlin frowns at a question he would never have asked. Then the creature speaks in visions. Curved drow blades, crude goblin torches, gnoll teeth dripping blood. You see other mind flayers arranged in a serene circle. Absolute unity. Absolute power.
Damn it! That tells me nothing!
You feel Ragzlin's suspicions. A true soul should never ask about the Master.
We'll ask what they were doing in Faerun.
Again, visions flow through you. A swarm of Githyanki dragon riders, silver blades held high, control panels melting, flesh pods spilled open.
Gith on the hunt. They know something.
Suspicion floods Ragzlin's mind. Your brain howls as you consider your final question.
And we'll ask why the Gith were chasing the ship.
You see dark tunnels lit by noxious pools of brine. The darkness spreads through the earth. The sky splits open and nautiloids pour out of a void that consumes the stars.
What in the...
The corpse collapses, silent once more.
No, no! We're not done! Riddles, all of it, and nothing to show for the trouble but rotting squid meat. No answers, no killer, and no damned weapon. The damned Drow was right. Can't let her get all that glory. Seems I ain't done with you. Report to the Drow. Minthara's the name. She's mounting an attack on that blasted grove. Tell her you'll join her.
And we'll just lie about that. Consider it done.
Praise the Absolute.
Okay, so the reason we did all of that is so that the animation, that like the scenario here will end and we can get the rest of these folks to respond to normal mechanical stuff, because Ragzlin won't move until he's done questioning the squid. So here we're just going to cast Minor Illusion, and we're going to drag these guys around. And again, the way this works is he'll walk over, he'll kind of look at it. When he starts to move away, we'll move him further. Okay, floating eyeball somehow in the way. And what we're looking to do is get him onto the bridge. And I think I'm going to unequip this loot as it's messing up my timing. And we're looking to get both Minthara and Ragzlin on the bridge at the same time. And at this point in time, we can pause. I don't know. He's just close enough that I'm not so certain of it. So we'll exit turn-based mode and bring it back one last time. Come on. Stand on the bridge. Alright, now we got all the Goblin Leaders on the bridge. And that's what we want. So we're going to shoot the bridge out from underneath of them, turn invisible, and run away. And we can see this thing's got crazy line of sight. So what we're going to do is try to get away from it as much as we can. Because we're going to take a potion of invisibility, we're going to want to save our bonus action for that. We only have a regular range weapon equipped, so no problem. So we'll move, select our ranged weapon, and shoot the wooden support. If you are not playing on honor mode, this is a great time to save. Make sure that you don't mess this up.
Seems the owner of that item was rather attached to it. You're about to face the consequences.
Sort of. So they all die. And we've got a journal update that says that the Goblin Leaders have been slain. So now we're going to pull up our potion of invisibility, drink it, and run. And combat will end as soon as they get to the part where we became invisible. And even if we died, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Seems these true souls have their limits.
We would just resurrect in camp. So the mission is successful as long as the Goblin Leaders are dead. And we can see everybody's gone hostile with us now. And we're going to come to where the prisoner was being tortured and take the exit that he did. So we come out where we found the glowing shield, kind of above the camp. We're strong enough to just jump up, since we've got the Club of Giant Strength, and we'll go into stealth. Now we'll swap over to Lizelle and Gale, and we'll take them and move to the Blighted Village. The Blighted Village overlooks the Goblin Camp, and that's what we're going to use for our approach.
Faithisk you mentioned intrigues me. Care to tell me a bit more?
An intricate device crafted by Malar, our most gifted artisans. I am sworn to say no more. Onward.
So we're going to come up to where Shadowheart was looking at the statue, near the windmill where we freed Barkus. We'll cast Featherfall and jump down. And this bridge is designed to collapse onto the traps, so we'll jump it. I'm pretty sure the Gale will just walk across it without causing problems. There we go.
Seek and you shall find me.
So we'll break the party apart, and let's take a look at Gale, because I don't think that we've equipped him very well. So we'll put on the Protectory Sparks Wall. That gives him an increase to his difficulty classes for his spells. We will find and equip Melf's for Staff, which does the same. We'll equip the Psychic Spark. We'll give him a Ring of Protection. And nothing else is really very good. Yeah, we don't have a lot of good rings. So We'll take a look at gloves. He's got a shield, so the bracers of defense won't be very helpful. We're not likely to need a jump. We don't need the gloves of archery, although it would allow us to use a longbow. We don't need the gloves of thievery or the gloves of power. Heroism won't help us. Hellrider's Pride is not very likely to help us. The Wanderer's Gloves will give us an extra point of armor class, so that's what we're going to take. And Gale's got some cantrips, so we can live without having a regular weapon. Now we're going to grab Shadowheart, and I'll give you a preview of the next video. So we're going to open up the Caravan Strongbox, and we're going to send the Iron Flask to Lizelle. In the next video, we'll take care of the whole Goblin courtyard and get ready to exit the first part of Act 1 and head to the Githyanki Crash. I'll see you there.